Hello, I am Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Chai, and we are back for more Limbus company. Getting into our first combat encounter here. Okay, well that absolutely destroyed my middle team. Thank you for doing that.
걸맞는
가시죠. 파투페 1패 의뢰인가요? 의로움을 세우기 위해서라면.
부름
의로움을 세우기 위해서라면. 의로움을
부름이란 대상 확인했어. 시작하지.
Let me work out a team here that will give me the maximum possible output. What am I even doing right now? I need to get out of here. Let me quickly level up my Blade Lineage team really quickly here.
별일 수 있는 기회겠죠?
Alrighty, and I think we're about ready to go now. We spent a long while rifling through the photo studio with the LCD team, but no one found any decisive evidence. There sure are a lot of photos around, but almost all of them are just pictures of buildings. Nothing much to tell from that. Aside from the canister containing the film roll Sinclair picked up, there are no remaining items here that can count as a proper clue, Executive Manager. I've confirmed that the rest are all empty plastic containers. It's probably best to check the contents of the film roll directly. Yes, Executive Manager, I will find a way to develop the film. Did you guys find any sort of photo development room or equipment nearby? Let's search a little more before we see what's in the film roll. Mentor, what do you make of this object? For the 8th time, Engdu, I have no idea. If I had wits bright enough to understand all that lies before me with a single glance like that team leader, I would have passed the royal examinations long ago and secured myself a lucrative position as a court official. But Mentor, hadn't you already passed the royal? Once swung, a sword does not retrace its arc, Engdu. So it is with lice. There's no undoing what has already been cut. Thus it is unnecessary to dwell on what can no longer be undone. There is no after for what has already been slashed away. Not for you, Mentor. Ought you not dwell on what can no longer be undone? I misspoke. I did not mean it that way, Engdu. I merely meant to say that I do not wish to recall my past. I am aware you have told me as much since long ago, whenever you were placed in a position to retrace the past. mostly at the eateries where you filled your belly on unpaid tabs, and each time you brought down the stone wall before our house by your own erring hand. Those are exactly the kinds of things you should never forget. Ow, my belly, I feel a stabbing pain in my belly. This spot, oh, the very wound you once gave me afflicts me yet. The one from when you thought you were only poking me with a scabbard, yet by some cruel turn, it was your sword that ran me through. Mentor, you said it was completely healed and that I need not concern myself with it. Those very same words have been repeated at least 80 times. But it still aches every now and then, chiefly when I hear your sharp-cutting words that I really don't want to hear. Is that so? Hengdu suddenly pulled out a sheet of paper and began furiously writing something down. What is this? I've written down the words that I have just said. If hearing my sharp-cutting words afflicts you so, perhaps reading them instead would cause no suffering. Kim's face began to contort like a wet dish towel being wrung dry. I really can't believe this is the same mentor Hengdu follows so devotedly. Where's all the dignity and forbearance Hengdu said he had? Young Hengdu, there's a matter I would ask thee. Apparently I wasn't the only one who had felt that way about him. Pray, speak freely. This may perhaps be a discourteous inquiry, but I too, when speaking with the others of those whom I serve, often ornament my words with a lamentation of an acceptable degree, and yet... Oh, I understand your concern, Lady Don Quixote. I suppose this is your first time seeing Mentor with its shoulders so unbraced and his bearing so loose. In truth, when I first beheld him, I also wondered whether such a man could truly be a leader worth placing my faith in. However, upon my honor, I assure you that I have never once uttered a falsehood when I spoke of him to you. My respect toward the blade of my own and foes alike, my determination to safeguard what must be protected, even should my arms be torn apart, all of these are, undoubtedly, the teachings that my mentor has imparted onto me. Truly? Why, if fortune should grant the opportunity, you may witness Mentor's true self yourself someday. That is to say, if we let ourselves be carried by the currents of the river to arrive at such a chance. Hengdu gave her prosthetic arm a casual sweep, smiling sincerely as though she truly believed every word she said. Then leaning closer to Don Quixote, she whispered, Besides, unless I speak with this feigned, stern ignorance, there will be no end to his digging and his heels. I would ask for your trust, for all is aimed at his benefit. Forsooth, thou too hast been burdened by the trials of serving your superior. So that's what it was. I get it now. Just as I witnessed the budding of this peculiar bond of commiseration and camaraderie between our chivalric friends, the door leading outside was flung open with a loud slam. We have arrived at the target location, and appears the advance party has already been defeated. Wait, who are these people? Didn't they say there was only a single violator? Oh crap. Looks like it's too late to talk our way out of this, whatever excuses we come up with. Oh boy, this is not gonna go well. The same thing happened last time. When I saw the Ancorp employees, I thought we had the wrong intel, and all of a sudden flash blinded my vision white, as though I had stared straight into a burst of searing light, so intense and bright that it made my head swim. Yeah, there was the same pop, and with my vision blinded, the only thing I could make out was Ezra's soft murmur, until even that came to a stop as her breathing hushed. It didn't take long for me to realize what was happening. Seeing it again doesn't exactly warm my heart. What are you saying, Do? Though S-Corp may indeed be passing through hard times, this alley was not quite so wretched in form, was it, Mentor? Is that right? Looks much the same to me. This place. Did we get teleported to S-Corp? No, Dante, though it generates a considerable sense of verisimilitude. This is... I think I know what this is. This is a presence. I haven't been able to detect it until now, but somehow it was now surrounding us, saturating every corner of the space where we stood. The dreary stone walls, trees bent and coiled in grotesque forms, the sheen of the light, and even the air we breathe, all of them point toward a single phenomenon. This is the depth of the fathoms. Fathoms made entirely out of a distortion. There are completely different distortions where the N-Corp employees were just a moment ago. Executive Manager, this is exactly it. This is what I was trying to explain. Whereas Ezra pointed, the people in smart niche suits had vanished, and in their place, figures clad in blood-stained dopo robes were approaching us with dragging, uneasy steps. Right, let's fight first and talk later. Readying, Do? My blade is poised to strike, Lady Ezra. Wait, where's the bamboo-hatted dude? I'm afraid he has already taken his leave. He said he had no desire to cross blades with the Shinokuns of S-Corp twice. Come on, man, not again. He's a repeat offender, that's for certain. Executive Manager, whoever Kim's gone off to, this definitely isn't the time to be asking trivial questions. Right, let's do what Ezra says and get ready for battle. On your orders, Executive Manager. Men, prepare for battle. Alrighty, let's see what this Intervalos combat has in store for us here.
뺀다면 사활을 건다.
아름다운 것, 그렇지 않은 것.
Seems like they are basically just bleed and bind.
다음번에는 뵐 수 있겠죠.
ダンテさんの作戦とても効果的でした。
즐겁겠군. 틀어지게.
I definitely should have piled more on in there.
발광, 차단.
육참.
대전. 확실하게 갈라지는 감각이었네. 즐겁겠군. 귀와 요격 암수가 이어졌다면 정리와.
So far, this combat seems fairly easy.
검주먹 모드.
죄를 새겨주겠어.
암수가 이어졌다면 귀와 요격. 그냥 동그라 떨굴 수밖에.
Alright, and these last two should be very easy to put down now.
결과입니다.
살을 베어내고
That should be all of them. Surveying the area with measured alert, Angdu casts the blood from her sword with a few sharp flicks before sliding it back to its sheath. They're not changing back. Doesn't look like beating up the distorted ones reversed them immediately this time around. Perhaps a fortunate turn of events in a way. Let us search for clues while time allows us. Right. You take that side, Angdu. I'll search here. Ezra and Angdu moved about as though they were used to this kind of situation. Without even taking a moment to catch their breath after the battle, they began searching the space. Prithee. Don Quixote was the first one to voice her doubt in the surreal, unfamiliar situation we found ourselves in. We battled distortions upon our arrival hither, but yet never before have I beheld our surroundings change to so sudden a flash. Prithee, I cannot make sense of the situation. Couldst thou render a detailed account of this distortion phenomenon? Apologies, it would appear I overlooked the briefing due to the urgency of the predicament. This is, according to the definition presented by Lady Moses, a location-type distortion. It's basically when a whole space distorts, and since places and buildings cannot move on their own, the distortion gets fixed in a certain place. As for this one, looks like the distortion's already progressed pretty far along. Middle stage, probably. They don't usually get this big, but the one here is covering almost an entire street. Then those people, they entered the space and got caught up in it. And our job right now is to get to the bottom of the phenomenon. What exactly gets people caught up, and what happens to them once they're in. Of course, we can't really rule out the possibility of a powerful distortion that's encroaching upon its environment. Oh, by that I mean when a distortion bleeds into the space around it and warps it. Oh man, I'm actually talking like our team leader. Rubbed off on me, I guess. Ezra continued with a sheepish giggle. In any case, we won't be able to suppress or cure the distortion, even if we whoop these guys' asses 100 times. We need more clues to help us locate the inflection point. Maybe we should examine these people over here, too. With a call, Ezra directed our attention to rows of clasped people all around, all of them clad in dopo robes. And these are the glyph emblazoned on their headbands, too. This speaks propulsion and pursuit. It marks them as Chinokuns, functionaries charged with scouring and hunting runaway nobis. You hail from the homeland as we do. I am unsurprised that you know of them. I could hardly fail to know, for I too was once enumerated among their quarry. Scientists and technicians were daily being dispossessed of their stations in S-Corp after all. So it was no idle tale. Scientists who ply their craft without flattening S-Corp's coffers are seized forthwith and made nobis of the corporation. Saddening. Oh my god, I cannot read. Indeed, I count myself fortunate to have absconded with my friends, afore the brand of Nobi could be impressed upon us. Otherwise, Nobi, the wretched appellation conferred upon the people for their convenience of those in power, a vile practice and an excuse of their power-mongering, nothing more. The so-called taboo hunters of S-Corp operate by much the same anatomy. Does the breaching of taboo summon the hunter, or does the hunter first seize his prey, to therefore frame the captured with invented transgression? If the So a desire to chase a man down, to take possession of his very being and keep him chained, keep him caged. Then they need only decree that he should bear the lot of a Nobi. Such is what S-Corp has become today. My mentor too is one of the victims of that accursed practice. Then could these people have been sent out to capture your mentor or Yi Song? Or me perhaps, or none of us? You mean to state that they may be conceptual forms of Shinokuns generated by distortion, met as a plausible conjecture. We're getting nowhere with this clue hunting. With a heavy sigh, Otis pressed her fingers against her brow as if her head were starting to pound in frustration. To delve further into the matter, it is necessary to determine why the S-Corp and its Shinokuns have appeared as the motif of the phenomenon. Considering the course of events we have seen so far, would it not stand to reason the distortion strains all nearby things with memories most foul? The presence of Shinokuns suggests a possible correspondence to Yi Song's memories. Conversely, however, the absence of T-Corp's time collectors weakens that hypothesis. In which case, the most plausible theory is this particular distortion could have stemmed from Bamboo-Headed Kim or Engdu's memories. Engdu furrowed her brow and fell into thought, as though she couldn't grasp the full picture of the problem. I've seen a few distortions that show trauma or affect their surroundings, but this one, I'm not getting that pop of inspiration. Can't even guess at what the distortion wants either. The white flash of light suddenly drowned my vision again as Ezra clutched her head and cried out with annoyance. If only the team leader was here, cracking this would have been a piece of cake. And we're back, so this is why you kept asking whether we'd seen anything bursting with a pop. The N-Corp employees must have had it rough too, getting dragged into the distortion like this. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? It was self-defense, they were about to attack us. I suppose finding the root cause and taking care of it would be the fastest way forward. Let's just do what we can for now. Okay, first we need to develop the film we found here. We'll head to the nearest dark room and... No, actually, let's first drag that slippery hat-wearing Colt back here and get him talking about the Chinokans. That's probably our best bet. Every time we take a job, that slacker just slips off without telling anyone. As one part of me watched Ezra stamp her feet in frustration, well, I was also carefully following Heathcliff's team through the other part of my vision. Oh, I think I can help with that. Have you located him? What, Boss Clock found something? Yep, I found where Bamboo-Headed Kim is right now. Wow, that was 30 minutes. Jesus, I was not expecting that one to take that long.
돌아오고 있어요. 뒤틀림에서 다시 사람의 형상으로. 살수의 방식으로는 절대 도달하지 못했을 결과일 테죠.
Alright, we're only one combat in and we're already a tenth of the way there.
S사로 떠나기 전까지 제가 현장 추리팀에서 무엇을 배워가면 좋을지.
지위를 받는 건 오랜만이네요.
Give me a second here, I need to check something really quickly. Okay, we want to go for resonance here. I also want to swap out my team a little bit, maybe.
화점에 두지.
출장이군요.
피가 범람할 시간이요.
잠시 이것만 삼키고.
피가 범람할 시간이요. 망설. 지위를 받는.
이번 의뢰는 몇 발이나 들고 가야 하냐?
지위를 받는.
이번 의뢰는 몇 발이나 들고 가야 하냐?
Trying to think of the best layout I can get here.
벌써요? 매뉴얼을 좀 더 꼼꼼히 읽고 가야. 7장이군요.
피가 범람할 시간이요. 부름이라면
자유.
부름이라면 기쁘게.
잠시 잠시 이것만.
배원.
어디서?
잠깐. 이번 임무는
어머, 부탁드려요.
We can try something like that. I want to see what the Pinky members can do in here. Meanwhile, Heathcliff's team. Bloody hell, what's up with these gits? They're showing up out of nowhere. How should I know? But judging by their getup, they seem like escort fellas. And things were going so well, we could have talked it out with those fedora guys who were rummaging around the place earlier, you know. But no, you just had to go barking up at them first. Would have saved a whole lot of trouble if you hadn't, right? Oh, so it's my fault? Those bastards looked like they were nicking stuff. This is our contract area, isn't it? If they walked off with something important, we'd be the ones catching hell. Listen, bud, not everyone's itching to swipe hair coupons in their pockets the second they get the chance. Oh, for how many bloody months are you gonna milk that? Excuse me. What, you got a problem too, mate? No, not at all. Just wondering whether that gentleman over there is also one of our enemies. Is that the end of your troupe performance? Shame, I was really enjoying watching you guys dance. Might have mistaken this place for the Peach Blossom Land of Legends, had there been a cup of fine Magoli? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Yeah, that's an enemy, alright. He has a name tag, though. I think it says LCD. LCD or whatever, who gives a toss? Am I supposed to put up with every bastard having a get at me? Oh dear. Such bold swings. Didn't know there was an encore to that performance. You slippery little rat. Well, I do find this amusing enough, but if you intend to play with me, you ought to be more aware of your surroundings. Hey, behind you, there's... Wow, he took out all those dopo-wearing people with just a single strike. I say that about covers the price of admission for your troop circus, one in you. Well then, I'll leave the rest to you folks. Wandering blades and... Miram tales never linger on the stage for long, after all. Oi, where the hell do you think you're going? Aw, damn it. I just figure if we're going with like a heavy poise focused build here, we probably want to include full stop office or the kinky members because they are really good.
그 삶의 마침표를
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。敵は深手を負っています。
God damn it, that is really annoying. Oh wow, that is really cool. What the hell?
타겟 포착 1시 방향.
Okay, these combats just got a lot cooler. Holy hell. Come on, what is my luck right now?
부탁하죠.
敵は深手を負っています。
부탁하죠.
오케이.
다음 목표로.
And there we go, and that was fairly easy. So let me get this straight. Dude was here just a minute ago, and now nobody knows where he wandered off to. Yeah, bloke just turned up out of nowhere, flapped his gums, then did a runner before anyone could grab him. Ezra let out a long, listless sigh, as though she was getting sick and tired of even complaining about Kim. Lady Ezra, I cannot say your frustration is misplaced, yet I trust you are also aware that, more often than not, Mentor's actions have carried a profound design. He's never left his post without purpose so far. No, I get it, okay, but come on. Would it kill him to give us a heads up before he goes zooming off on his own again? It's not like we'd stop him. What are we even gonna do? Tie him up? Lock him in a closet? We don't do that in our team, right? Remember last time? We all thought he was being a good patient and sleeping it off in the recovery ward, but no. When the LCE got infiltrated, he snuck out without telling anyone and came back like nothing happened. And the team leader didn't even chew him out for that. Lady Ezra, that's... Oopsie, wasn't supposed to mention that, was I? Then the reason he failed to participate in the operation was... simply because the LCD was lax in supervising its personnel. Is that what you're suggesting? Lady Moses bade us hold our tongues for this very reason. She knew full well Mentor's intentions would be misunderstood in precisely such a manner. What part of this have I misunderstood? Did you not just disclose that the man deserted his post without authorization? That's the thing, he wasn't just wandering around, he was outside all alone, taking down the ring auto mannequins who locked down the elevator that led into the LCE department. Yeah, it's not like he was dealing with the strongest enemy out there, but the recovery ward didn't have an emergency alarm, and nobody from the department was there to warn him either. He somehow just caught on and did the job himself. Heard it's all thanks to him that the facilities team managed to get the comms back up and contact the LCE chief dude way faster, and that helped the LCA to actually deploy. They would have been delayed for another hour or two if he hadn't stepped in, apparently. And he went fighting even though he wasn't fully recovered. So he came back looking like he'd been processed through a meat grinder. So yeah, he did end up staying in bed like a good patient, in a lot of pain. And the soldier is not entirely deserving of reproach. No, he's a less talking, more doing type, I guess. Anyway, we were all stuck inside the building back then during the incident. So fine, I suppose there was no helping it. Today, though, never mind. He's always like this with him. He always slips away and then pops back in saying it's done. My point is, What happens if one day one of those solo missions doesn't go his way and he just drops dead in the street somewhere? How are we supposed to help him then? Actually, how does he even know what he's supposed to be done in the first place when nobody gives him any instructions? Bloke's gotta be relying on his gut feeling, innit? Gut feeling? Look, I only saw the bloke for a bit, so I can't say I've got him all figured out. He's an annoying bastard, but he didn't strike me as some clueless sod who doesn't know where he's stepping. Heathcliff scratched at his chin, then kept talking as though he were stating an obvious fact. Today's proof enough. He's not one of us, so Clockhead couldn't have reached him from that far and sent him to back us up. And there's no way he just happened to run into us just when we were getting into battle, innit? Then... well, could be Bloke's got some stupidly sharp head on him and piece things together, could be that. But I've got these moments where I get a flash of that gut feeling, however you want to call it. My boss man Matthew said he could hear that kind of shit too. Said I could hear them gears turning, or I think I hear rats scurrying around. He'd do things you couldn't make heads or tails of. Listen, there was this one time when we were expecting a life and death fight. Matthew says he could hear them gears turning. Walks into a random pub, starts throwing back drinks like he'd lost his bloody mind. That does sound like someone who's lost his bloody mind. Back when I was on the ship, some sailors used to drink the barrel dry before battling whales to blunt their fear, only to stumble around on the deck and fall overboard. Yeah, and boss could knock it back like a whale. Still, the point is, getting plastered right before a turf war is not what most sane people would call a good idea. Had us all crossed, so we went stomping after him. And guess what? Turns out that pub was the secret hideout where the opposing syndicate was holed up. They were crowded around the gaffer, running their mouths about how they'll kill him and put an end to the dead rabbits. That's when we came storming in and had them surrounded instead. Not a single one of them got away. We beat them bloody, every last bastard. And boss knew it'd play out that way. Sorry, but this really sounds like a barstool bragging to me. You sure that wasn't just a coincidence? I should think it was no mere coincidence. You are saying as much, then surely this was but one among many coincidences. Is that not so? Yeah, every time Matthew pulled one of those stunts, our law ended up growing bigger. Wouldn't have kept working so neatly if it was just a coincidence. It is likely that is often referred to as an instinctive sense or experience-based precognition. More accurately, an unconscious process by which information accumulated in the subconscious is sorted and converted into sensible conclusions. There have been some extremely rare cases in which Heathcliff has demonstrated the ability to arrive at coherent conclusions that surprise even Faust. On further analysis, it would appear that he was employing a mechanism similar to a sixth sense, as people call it. Is that a compliment, or are you taking the piss out of me? Though my mentor does not see fit to explain each step he takes. When all has passed, I often find no footfall of his is taken in vain. I would ask of you to grant him but a little time and wait. Keep waiting, and the shape of his intent may yet become clear. Though I confess, I have also been concerned about him as late. Concerned about him of late. His recent silence is far heavier than what I have noticed in the past. To wait. Don Quixote began, hesitated, then stopped herself from saying more. She only gave a quiet nod. Yeah, okay, I guess our team leader has her own reasons for letting him be. That said, it doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Let us return to the task in hand and do what we can for now. Fine, fine. As the others quieted down, I finally had room to notice the place we found ourselves in. There wasn't a single ray of light, just a deep red hue pressing in from every side. I can't believe we've been chatting away in the dark this whole time, fellas. And the red lights aren't helping at all, especially with my aging eyes. Are you looking for the light switch? It's right here. And right then, don't turn on the light. I heard Merceau's clipped warning, his voice coming from a corner I didn't expect to find. Merceau, where are you? There he is, that corner. Is he washing something? I'm developing the film roll, manager. Exposure to light may ruin the entire roll. Please exercise caution. So he's been doing his own thing. That explains why he was quiet all along. Didn't think you'd know how to print photographs, pal. What's that for, anyway? You expressed the wish to have the film developed, manager. I am carrying out the instruction. I see. A photo studio first, and now a darkroom. This may be no more than conjecture, but it would not be unreasonable to suppose the axis of the distortion rests upon a photographer. The film's serial numbers either match those found in the photo studio or deviate by only a single digit. It is certain this darkroom is connected to the studio in some way. The images bear a striking resemblance to the photographs. I also believe this building and the photo studio share a strong connection. Oh, where did you get the photos? I brought some from the photo studio. I cannot name the locations in the pictures with certainty, yet they all appear to have been taken at various places in Ancor's district. Buildings, mostly. Wait, I know what these are. He will take photos like these when supplying stuff to the department store. Correct, the photos must have been taken by a docugrapher. Merceau chimed in, holding up an odd cylindrical container in his hand this time. He gave the container a shake every now and then with a measured rhythm. Whatever he was doing seemed to be part of the process of developing the film. Film rolls are hardly affordable for the average resident in Encore. In most cases, taking photographs is done as part of professional duties. There are approximately 21 occupations in District 14 that utilize photography. However, only a single profession involves routinely photographing specific buildings, adhering to fixed standards that can be observed in these pictures. And these docugraphers he mentioned are the people entrusted with the job. Yes, they photograph the information to be poured into canned experience. A docugrapher. How could a person of such a decently lucrative position fall into distortion? Decent job, maybe, but how do we know if they're a decent person? Ezra replied with a clear-cut answer. After only a brief pause. What makes you say that? The photo studio we were at didn't have any dark rooms, right? No, it didn't. My team leader said there are other ways of processing film rolls, but in Incorp you have to go to a darkroom to develop and print them. Correct, film rolls are usually immersed in developer solution to be processed. Which is why photo studios have those dark rooms equipped with red safe lights right next to them. With this place, it's pretty far from a photo studio. Yeah, now that you mention it. Check out these windows, they're only covered by newspaper, how messy like. If you consider how sensitive film rolls are to light, it's really super suspicious the darkroom doesn't have any proper blackout panels. And you know film can cost a fortune in some places in the city, right? Who in their right mind would print photos in a room patched up with yesterday's newspaper? Probably isn't even a legit darkroom. Someone just hauled in the bare minimum tools needed to develop film and threw them all together in a hurry. Someone who didn't want to be seen printing photos, and someone who usually avoids scrutiny unless they're doing something not so decent. If that's the case, then I can see why they might have distorted. Right? Manager. Merceau came to my side quietly, still giving the strange cylinder the occasional shake. I have a request regarding your instruction to develop the film roll. What is it? Please ensure that the light in the room is not turned on until development is complete. Aren't we already doing that? Yes, however, engaging in battle opens the door to uncontrollable variables. This is why I have chosen necessary to make a separate request. Battle? There's no need for concern. I am capable of participating in combat while maintaining the development process. Wait, can you slow down? A battle, you say? Surely there must be cause for you to believe so. At the photo studio, reinforcements arrived exactly 11 minutes and 34 seconds after Incorp's pinframe team staff were defeated. Deductions based on the events thus far have made it clear that the photo studio and the darkroom share some kind of connection. Furthermore, Senator Heathcliff, Senator Honglu, and Senator Gregor have battled Incorp's pinframe team in this very location. I hear footsteps rushing up the staircases, approaching closer and closer. I have a feeling I know what Merso is getting at, but I ask anyway. Meaning? The initial rinse is finished. The process is now halfway to the completion of the second agitation. This indicates that 11 minutes and 30 seconds have elapsed since the start of the development. A battle is imminent. Please withdraw to a safe position, Manager. Merso, you should have warned us way earlier. Understood, Manager. I will follow that instruction going forward.
돌아오고 있어요. 뒤틀림에서 다시 사람의 형상으로.
Alrighty, and we are over a third of the way there now.
결과일 테죠. 이젠 좀 알 것 같네요.
Anyway, yeah, that is where I'm going to leave today's video. And you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, bye!